Hi guys, Logan here with my video. Today, I got something pretty cool to show you. This is the new for 2021 Digi skeleton by Seasonal Visions. This was sold exclusively through Spirit Halloween, and there's quite a bit to talk about these, especially this one, because this one's kind of a special Digi skeleton, because there's two different versions. So there are the display versions, and then it's what I call the floor models. The floor models are the ones that you could just go in the store, take off the shelves, and buy. And I think those are like $59.99. I think those were like $60, and the ISC ones were $50, so they were a little more expensive. And there's minor differences. What I have here is an ISC one. As I've mentioned before, I was an employee at Spirit Halloween this season, so I did put my name on a Digi skeleton. This particular one was on the factory showroom ISC, the factory floor thing. Yeah, the factory floor. That's the really big one that had the megaphone skeleton, the TVs, and the skeleton with the clipboard. This is the one that had the clipboard, and I actually have this clipboard. I do want to squash a rumor. Some people seem to think that the megaphone skeleton actually talks. The actual skeleton itself doesn't talk. It's a speaker that's hidden in the ISC that has a motion sensor on it. It's not attached to the skeleton. It's just sat kind of near the skeleton. The skeleton itself was a normal Digi skeleton, and the megaphone is just a solid plastic fake megaphone. Neither the skeleton nor the megaphone actually make noise. It's what we call a boo box. It's the same thing that makes the whistle noises in the front ISC that you walk through. I want to squash that in case someone says, "What about the one that talks?" That skeleton doesn't actually talk. Some people think it does. It does not. Basically, these are like scaled down versions of the Home Depot towering skeleton, which I don't really plan on buying because it's just too big and I have nowhere to store it. But I thought it was cool, and I got the next best thing, which is the smaller one. Basically, this is a pose and stay skeleton with Digi. But let's kind of talk about what makes this one a little different from the floor models. First of all, less of these are produced than the floor models, obviously, because these were meant for the ISCs. I think there was 4 produced per store. There were 2 in the front theme that overlooked the Carvomatic. And then there was 2 in the factory floor ISC, the big one. And there was one with the clipboard and one with the megaphone. And then all 4 had these hard hats because it was a factory theme. These are the factory workers. And what made them different, I put them on my chair so I can swivel it and show it off, is the fact that these actually have adapters. The produced models do not. They don't have adapter jacks. And actually, they took out the Try-Me jacks. This is completely empty. But they did give them, I think it's a 5.9 volt 1 amp or 1.5 amp DC adapter jacks. They came with the adapters. They do have battery packs. I couldn't get mine open because I don't have a Phillips or a flathead screwdriver big enough. So I don't know if there's actually battery prongs in there, if it's just empty. I'm assuming there's actually battery prongs in there. Knowing Seasonal Visions. But they left that empty, and they did give them, like, adapters, so we could count them on all season, and not have to constantly keep replacing the batteries. But they did not give that to the, released, like, public models that you just go in and buy. Now, on the Wikipedia, it says that they did not include the hanging loops. I do want to squash that because that is incorrect. They do. However, I can actually show you. there's actually the hole for it. The thing is, actually, is we cut them off. We removed them. But they do actually come with the hanging loops. We just cut them off. It's just what we're instructed to do. So they don't look like they're meant to be hung up. But they are. This is the only difference. Other than that, they are standard models. And they do have the hanging loops. We just cut them off. I don't know if you can really see. No, because it probably fell in the head. I actually messed with all of them in our store, so I did cut off all the hanging loops. Is why I know firsthand they did have hanging loops. Because I put them all up. I actually put this one up on the top of the ISC and positioned him and everything and plugged him in and dealt with him. Really tedious, by the way. Really, really scary. Because they had to go so high up, and you have to like pose their legs behind them so they're steady, and pose their arms so they're steady and everything. It was a little scary. Just a little bit. There's the eyes. The eyes are really neat. I like that. How they move around. Jaw's posable. I mean, everything on them is pretty much posable. Again, standard pose and stay skeleton. I do want to correct myself. So there was kind of only 2 versions. There's technically 3. Because the headless skeleton is actually one of these guys without the head. I only know that because it had this weird texturing on the rib cage. And the headless skeleton has that same weird texturing, which is how I know that's also SVI. It just doesn't have a head, obviously. But that is a Digi skeleton just without the head. So I guess there is technically 3. Oops. These were very sought after, obviously, because the 12-foot skeleton's really sought after, and that's exactly what this is. And I think it's even the same sculpt, just smaller. It looks like it. It's just, again, smaller, and it's pose and stay, and I mean, they're cool. I know there was issues getting them in store. In fact, my store, we only got one sellable one, and it was a all-out battle royale for the last Digi skeleton, because me and my boss were basically the first on that list to get these. We wrote our names down first. We have a first come, first serve list, and we put our names down. We were like, alright, here's what we want. So I actually put my name on this guy, this specific one, because I wanted the clipboard. I got him, I got some end caps, I got the bulletin board, I got the swinging cage, I got a couple of ISC stuff. Harriet's swinging cage, but this was probably the most exciting thing I got. I don't know if they're bringing these back next year. I don't know if they're going to go in the ISC again. I just know that there were serious issues getting them, and supposedly they just didn't order enough of them. I don't know if they just didn't think they were going to sell that well or what, but mixing that with the shortages and them not ordering enough, there was just not a lot of these to go around, which really sucked. Because these were kind of the it item this year. Mixing these with Grim. I mean, skeletons were in this season, guys. People wanted their skeletons. I think it really has to do with the amount of hype the 12-foot skeleton has around that, too. And these are, again, scaled down models, I think. With the people that can't really get a 12-foot skeleton because it's so big and hard to store, and you can't just throw that in your shed. It's going to take up most of your shed, and it's kind of expensive. You get this for a fraction of the price, and it's easy to store. I think a lot more people wanted this instead. Overall, though, I think this is a really cool item, and I'm pretty happy to have gotten my hands on one. I was a little scared mine would have gotten sold or broken or damaged. There were kids like hitting these on top of the ISC with like the sides and stuff. I had to fix them a couple of times. But I mean, I got my hands on one. It works like a charm, especially with the adapter. The screens aren't messed up or anything, and I think this is my first Digi item from SVI, and I'm pretty impressed with it, and I do really like it quite. Oh no, this is my first Digi item. I have Target cool. Whoops. This is my first real Digi item, I guess. Because the gold's a little different. But I'm pretty impressed with it. I think it's really cool. I do like how it doesn't make any noise. And it's just the eyes just simply moving around. It's really cool. My parents liked it quite a bit. They thought it was really neat. I thought it was neat. My coworkers thought it was neat. We all thought it was a really cool item. Overall, I actually do highly recommend this item. Skeletons, I mean, they're in right now. You really can't go wrong with the pose and stay skeleton in general. If we're gonna add a little more to it, get yourself a Digi one. I'm assuming they're gonna come back next year because they did pretty well and people wanted these really bad, and they flew off the shelves. I don't even think stores had these for the sale. I know we didn't. I haven't seen any stores that have these left for the sale. So honestly, get your hands on one if you can. Trust me, before the scalpers start selling for like $10,000 each, which they probably already are on eBay. But yeah, I wasn't really gonna do a video on this, but Will Bill, or Dev Bill for those who know him by that name, was like, yeah, you probably should. So it's kind of for his suggestion, but yeah, this is the Digi skeleton from Seasonal Visions. As of right now, it's Spirit exclusive. That might change next season. I don't really know, due to its success. I know they did a pumpkin ghoul for Home Depot this season. That had like posable toes and fingers, and I wanted that thing so badly I couldn't get my hands on it, but I do plan on getting that next season, if they have it. But yeah, that's the Digi skeleton. Of course, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.